What is up, everyone? Welcome to another cool down room edition of F1 Fantasy Pole Position. Hope everyone is doing well. Hopefully, everyone is doing a little bit better than I was doing after lap one. Yeah, you hate to see it. Pierre Gasly, right in the wall. Oh, man. Yuki Tsunoda, you are on the naughty list for me right now. I'm not too happy with you, Yuki. But yeah, as we can see here, if anyone joined me for the deadline stream yesterday, you know that I was this close. This close to going doing to Alonso. And man, oh man, am I not feeling very good right now. But let me know in the comments how you guys are projected to do, how it's looking, how you went. Did you play Limitless? Did you hit the no negative, avoid a DNF here or there? What are your hopes, your dreams, your regrets, your looking back at all your life choices, bringing in an Alpine? But bad results, good process, but oh man, I think I'd be able to swallow the Gasly DNF a lot better if I had pulled the trigger on Alonso or do into Alonso, or just been like that boring move that a lot of people were doing, that do into Bortoleto move, because yeah, that stings. Hopefully by the time I get around to team selection, I'll be able to look at the grass is greener on the other side, because I will have 3 free transfers to get myself out of this little bit of a pickle. I can safely say that Limitless is probably off the table for me in Miami now, so that's not great. But yeah, hopefully everyone is doing well. I see we got some people in the chat, so let's get to it here. And if you are tuning in for the first time, just make sure to like the video and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We are almost at 2,800 subscribers. I'd love to get there before the Miami Grand Prix. So if you are not subscribed, you could do me a big favor and hit that subscribe button and the bell. That way you always get notifications whenever there is a new video. But right off the bat, Toby says Gasly. BO says Gasly right off the bat. Ferrari doing better this time around. F1_T1 chose Alpine for budget to Limitless in Miami. Not only Gasly out, but what an embarrassing race from doing. Yeah, like that was really, really, really bad from doing. It would be, the thing is, it would have been nicer to see like if Gasly had fallen back in the race that way as well. Then we could have, maybe been like, oh, Alpine just didn't have the race car. But the data said they did. F1.com, the debrief, the sim said they were going to be good. So yeah, I know the race.com reported that Doohan was safe till the summer, but that race has got to have the higher ups at Alpine maybe thinking, okay, we got 2 weeks to Miami. If we're going to do it, it's kind of now or never. So yeah, just absolutely rough to watch. I mean, it was super lucky he even got that last overtake on the final lap over Bortoleto. Like, geez. Samir says Ocon to Gasly was a disastrous move. LOL. 25 points and 0.8 million budget down. Yep. Feeling that a little bit here. As you can see on my T2 team, I had like Antonelli and someone else in here. But yeah, the T2 squad did great. I mean, that is pretty much, if you just did the boring do into Bortoleto move, that would have been what my week looked like. I'd have 1 million more in budget and I'd have 28 more points. So a little bit brutal. A2 says rough race to buy into the Alpine hype. Yes, it was. I told you Verstappen was showing something special. Thank you, Benads. Yes, you sure were. Yeah, I think yesterday I even tweeted like Max is here to FS up. And yeah, he did. Driver of the day? I don't know. What are we doing here with driver of the day? Like, make it make sense, because I don't get it. I think we will figure out the meaning of life before we can get what the heck is going on with the driver of the day awards. So the pole position guy loses the win and gets driver of the day. Like, it doesn't make any sense. I've seen some people saying that like it's pretty obvious what's going on, but like I don't agree at all. Like, driver of the day should be for an on-track performance. Like, Antonelli picked up damage, got 8th in China or whatever it was, got driver of the day. Hamilton got driver of the day for getting 5th, even though there were 2 midfield cars that went up 10 spots in Behrman last week. Sonoda got it because it was his home Grand Prix. I can honestly get on board with that. If it's just going to become like a nationality award, like, oh, there's a Japanese driver at the Japanese Grand Prix. Like, let's give him driver of the day award. Like, okay, like, I'm on board with that. We can get behind that and kind of put some sense into it. But this Verstappen, Hamilton, Antonelli nonsense is crazy. Like, the only one that has actually made sense to me for an on-track performance this year is the first one when Lando got it. He went wire to wire, led the race the entire time, had a safety car, had wet weather. Like, that's the only like on-track, like, deserving driver of the day that I have seen this season in 2025. But I think I could probably do an hour-long episode on just raging about driver of the day, but it's not going to make any difference. Janik says, so now with Gasly out, probably no Limitless in Miami. Am I right as we lose too much budget? Yeah. So F1 Fantasy Tools haven't updated it. So I have put together this very rough spreadsheet here that we can all look at together. It's only the B tier assets because most of the A tier assets we don't really care about that much. Like, they're going to rise. So as we can see here, Gasly is the highlighted here. 28 points to rise in budget in Miami. That's not happening at all. Sonoda's not rising. Albon could get back on the menu soon. Sainz, hopefully soon. Carlos Sainz is going to be, he beat Albon for the first time this weekend. Probably would have beaten him last weekend too, if not for the damage he picked up against Yuki Tsunoda. So Carlos Sainz is making his way, making a foothold into that Williams team. I think he's starting to kind of stretch his legs. He's in the garage. He's making waves, that kind of thing there. So yeah, this is where all the drivers are at. So Behrman is a lock-in. Gonna have to probably try and switch back to Ocon. Like, I have 3 free transfers, so this will open me up to be okay in Imola. But like, first thing that I'm thinking of, it could just be 2 free transfers for me, and it could be Gasly up to Ocon, and then Doohan down to Bortoletto. Maybe there'll be enough money in there to get up to, I don't think it'll be enough to get up to Ferrari. So it might just be 2 free transfers set up for Limitless, and I'll have burned a transfer for nothing. And yeah, yes, Michael knows he is an OG, the loosey-goosey math channel. So yeah, it is very loosey-goosey. This is a trademark of F1 Fantasy Pole Position. So that is where we're at. Let me get back up to the top of the questions here. Oh, we got a lot. I'm glad everyone is hanging out. It is 9 o'clock in Germany here, so let me know where you're watching in the world. See what time zone everyone is in. Janik says, switched Ocon to Gasly and Mercedes to Red Bulls. I thought this was a good move. Ocon to Gasly just is, I think it's good process, bad results. This is just something we have to live with in F1 Fantasy. Very unfortunate that we're paying DNF roulette, but that is the thing. On the bright side, Alonso should score 9 points to move up 0.2. Yes, 100% agree, Benads. Like, Alonso, I was right there, that close to pulling the trigger. Oof, what could have been. Driver of the day was a bit funny. Yes, those Lando fans will not vote for Asker. Nixie says, hey, decent race overall for me. I went Limitless with Ferrari, and I think I did really well. Yes, you probably crushed it, Kyria, the Pokemaniac. If you had triple McLaren with Ferrari, like, that's awesome. Luke says 347 points with Limitless with McLaren, Ferrari, Piastri times 2, Norris, Verstappen, Leclerc, Russell, and pretty good budget gain. Oh my goodness, Luke. That is absolutely insane. That is like a 240 point delta over my T1 top squad, or 140 point delta over my, no, 140 point delta. That is massive. So great job by you, Luke. Hopefully a lot of the other Limitless managers went that way. I did see some people go with Red Bull on the Limitless, so tough luck there with the Mercedes. I'm glad I didn't add Gasly to one of my teams. Yeah, so glad I know negative should have just kept Ocon instead of Gasly. Yeah, Gasly crashing was a disaster. I blame Lukey. Diver Dave's disaster. Aggravated I didn't limitless my T3. Didn't feel like this was a great day for fantasy overall. I didn't go for Alonso instead of Bortoletto. Little points lost and 0.2 in budget. Shame, but not the end of the world. Yuki messed up my Subaru guesses as well. I have both him and Pierre for top 10 finishes. I put my 2X on Lando on my Limitless team, so happy days. Yeah, there really wasn't that big of a difference between Lando and Piastri at the end of the day. 39 points to 36. Even if you put Piastri, Verstappen, or Norris, it really worked out quite well. I played Limitless on my post-Australia team, but I went Mercedes over Ferrari, which was not ideal. Yeah, Sebastiano says, same team as yours, fine, whatever. Miami out, Gasly and Doohan in Ocon, or Gasly and Doohan out, Ocon and Alonso in, and we get ready for Limitless and Imola. Yeah, I think I'm on board with that, Sebastiano. Peyton says, T1 team, 214 points, 1.5 budget gain. T3, 196 points and 1.9 budget, according to F1 Fantasy Tools. Yep, I like that, Peyton. That's a pretty solid weekend. Michael says, out of my potential moves considerations, I dodged all the bullets. Went McLaren, Haas, Piastri, Russell, Ocon, Behrman, Hadjar. Set up nicely for Limitless in Miami. Nice. Toby says, I'm glad I have 3 free transfers from Miami. Casper. Yeah, I've... Hands up. Yes. Great job, Casper. Oh, man, I feel for you. If I could, I would give you some of my 344 points. Unfortunately, I can't, and they are all mine. Absolute scenes in the Limitless community this weekend. It was fantastic for y'all. So I'm actually very happy for everyone that went Limitless. I was actually pretty against it because I was very conflicted on who the top 5 drivers, who the 2 best constructors were. So hopefully you guys went with McLaren and Ferrari, and hopefully that worked out for you, because yeah, that is a huge weekend. As you can see, Piastri, Verstappen, Norris, Leclerc, Russell, like those are probably the 5 drivers I would have picked. But then yeah, Piastri or McLaren and Ferrari along with it, like that is awesome. And Ferrari we really have to take into consideration now as a constructor long term, because this is, I think, the 5th. Is it the 5th race in the row that they've had the fastest pit stop? Like, that's absurd. Like, what happened to the Ferrari of old? Driver of the day could have bailed me out, but people decided to keep voting. Hi, all. Hope everyone is okay. How are you feeling going into Miami, Ewan? I don't feel great right now, Delamain Sports, but I've got 3 free transfers, so I'll be able to get myself out of this mess, set myself up for Imola. It'll be nice to have a little bit of leeway. Like if I have to make some dramatic move, like having 3 free transfers is enough. But I think I'm not really upset about the Gasly DNF. I'm just more upset about the Doohan to Alonso thing, because it was something that I kind of seen from like Monday in the team selection video, and I didn't execute. I'm more mad at myself for that. I just kind of mad that I didn't have the minerals to go with that. I do have Alonso, so I might still pop Limitless next week, even with Gasly on my team. Yeah, I guess I haven't really thought of that, because Alonso needs 10 points to go up another 0.6, so that's really nice. And Gasly's likely gonna fall, but it is what it is. So there are 160 people watching, and we have 18 likes. That is a little low, guys. I always shoot for 50% likes and always trying to get new subscribers. So like I said, if you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, we greatly appreciate it. We're looking for 2,800 by Miami. But yeah, any likes are always appreciated. Yeah, Casper getting some love in the chat there. I like that. Honestly, by this year's standards, this is one of the more reasonable driver of the day bonuses. Yeah, I guess he was P2, so, but still, I still don't really get it. I have the same team as your T2. Do you think Limitless in Miami is doable? Let's see. For that T2 squad, yeah, I think I probably will play Limitless on that squad in Miami. That's a great shout, Jow. Peter says, I did well, got some budget increase, and maybe about 244 points. Dropped Doohan to Alonso. I want Ferrari, but could not afford them. Yeah, not bad. Augustina says, hello, nice to see you. Hello, sorry for not listening to you, but I did Limitless with Meta Team, though only gained 1.3 million, which is kind of okay, but nailed Limitless with McLaren, Ferrari, and top 5 drivers, so I feel it's worth. Yeah, you crushed it. Great job, Augustinas. Limitless, but got a little screwed over with Red Bull Constructor and the 2X on Norris. I'm still getting 60 more points, so not too bad. 60-point delta is still great. Avencry, I was top 5K before this race, swapped out Ocon for Gasly, and this happened. Is my season over, or am I overreacting? You are overreacting, Goat Bradley, Goat Brady, because yeah, I'm like 200K in the world. And we're still plenty of time to bounce back. Like, don't worry too much about it. You'll be fine. Maybe you'll drop out of the top 10K, top 15K, but like you still got plenty of time. Don't worry about it. Matthias, yeah. Pumped those numbers up better than Gasly. Yes, went limitless. Unfortunately, with Mercedes and not Ferrari, but still very happy, especially since a lot of people had Gasly. Yeah. The Gasly thing was killer. If we actually go to the elite data, we can see that in the Patron top 500, Gasly was in 0.4% of the Patron top 500 teams on F1 Fantasy Tools last week. He went up 53.3% this week in the Patron top 500. So that is a lot of hurt that is coming towards the Patron top 500. So there'll be a lot of swings. So don't worry about it too much. Over half the game brought him in the Patron top 500. Not sure my doing Mercedes to Russell Alpine has paid off. Was planning to Limitless next week, but may need to ditch Alpine now. So I haven't done this future planning sheet for Alpine, but I could maybe get on that real quick if I can find their price. Let's see here. So budget builder, Alpine coming into this weekend, they were 7.9. I think they're going to go up. They're going to go up 0.2, so they'll be 8.1. They scored, 22 points last week. They score, and it looks like they're projected to score how many points this week? Let's see here. -9, but they're still going to go up 0.2. -9, so if I can do this, let's do this here. Let's see what we can get here. So you could still be in the Limitless range there with Alpine next week. 17 points, not totally out of the realm of possibility, and you could still get a good price rise there with 9 points. So I wouldn't be too off of Limitless, Jack, if that's where you're at. Drive of the Day is properly bought it. I'm starting to think a group of F1 fantasy players band together to create Drive of the Day upsets. Maybe. I could Leclerc getting it, maybe. Yeah, that's true. There are no metrics, just accept it. Yeah, you're probably right, player one. I Limitless my T2 squad with 2X on Norris, with Norris, Piastri, Verstappen, Leclerc. Yep, scored 100 points for my team template with Gasly. I feel like it was the right call. I should have LLT1 too. Yeah. Can you imagine the amount of points if Gasly did well and Hadjar passed both Williams? I don't want to think about it, Heather Bridge. It makes me too sad. I expected Lando to get it since his fans voted him a lot and he gained 6 places. Yeah. It's the salty McLaren fans that won't vote Oscar, I think. Could be true, but yeah, Oscar is pulling away a little bit. He's definitely like, what was that, back-to-back wins? Back-to-back wins. Yes, back-to-back wins, won 3 of the last 4 races. So I don't know. Like, Lando keeps making these little mistakes. It's going to add up eventually. But yeah, we move on to Miami, where Lando claimed his first win ever. Hello, good luck. I locked in early. I switched Doohan to Ocon and Mercedes to Haas for a budget cause at 103.5. Would have put Gasly in Racing Bulls if I hadn't locked in. Yeah, not bad. What was your opinion on the turn 1 drama? I think the penalty was fair, in my opinion. Yeah. Oscar got there way before. So I don't mind that at all. Gasly out, still got 214 points at 1.5 million, so okay. Wildcard in Miami would depend on the squad, Kip2. But if it's setting you up for Imola, then possibly. Ferrari pit stops seem unstoppable. Yeah, they are awesome. Peter says, watching from New York, race was mostly boring, so clean the apartment. Yeah, it wasn't like the most entertaining race. Like having Leclerc and Norris come back through the field at the top was kind of cool, but like overall, it wasn't as bad as Japan, but it definitely wasn't as good as Bahrain. Basil said I couldn't afford Gasly. Limitless was the same, but Norris 2X needed to drive the day. Why I don't get why Gasly's DNF means no Limitless in Miami, because Gasly is probably going to fall again in Miami, Brahma. So then you'll lose another 0.6 when you're playing Limitless. Alpine was not the call, says Roman. Does Limitless this week mean no transfers for the next race, or do I get the standard 2? You'll get the standard 2, Josh. Moist Waffles. What a username. Great username there. Is answering that question for you. Fraser says, very happy. 227 points plus 2.5 million. McLaren, Williams, 2x Piastri, Russell, Hadjar, Behrman, Borla, crushing it. Evening, y'all, says Mr. Iceman. I'm from South Africa. 9 p.m. We are. Keep up the great work. Thank you. Urasoto says, with Haas, McLaren, Piastri, Hadjar, Behrman, Ocon, Bortoleto, would you limitless Miami or wait for Imola for points delta against? No limitless. Haas, McLaren, Piastri, Behrman, Ocon, Bortoleto. I think that's a fine squad to limitless in Miami. Urasoto, do you know where we can see live driver of the day voting as they are voted in? They used to show it on the screen with like 5 laps to go on the broadcast, but I don't know if they stopped doing that. I think they show like how many wins each driver has this year or something like that. But yeah, do I prefer Alonso or Lawson in Miami? That's a great question. I mean, looking at the points, you'd have to say Lawson. But I think Alonso maybe has a little bit better of a long-term hold through Imola. So we'll see. And Lawson keeps picking up these like time penalties and stuff. Like can't seem to get it done super cleanly on the track. So that's a little bit worrying because yeah, that's why Alonso even went up today that's why Alonso went up tonight because Lawson got a 10-second time penalty, moved down the order. So yeah, after Miami, Hulk will be a good budget, I believe. Yeah, he'll get there. Once that -20 gets knocked off, he'll be back at 6 million, so we could probably get back to riding Hulkenberg again. Gasly messed me up. Yep, he did. I bet some fantasy managers did skip a heartbeat with that one moment with Bortoleto and Alonso. Yes. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that was so close to disaster. Roman says, McLaren, Alpine, Piastri, Russell, Ocon, Behrman, Hadjar had this first good enough for Limitless. Yeah, that's like on the fence just because of Alpine. Like they're pretty close, but they should rise enough. I don't mind that at all. Where are we at? Piastri, Russell, Bortoleto, Behrman, Hadjar, McLaren, Haas, and Miami. I think it's time for Limitless. If they get the same points as today, all of them are in the range for a maximum price rise. Piastri, Russell. Yes, I think so. I mean, like even Bortoleto could be on for a price rise here. 5 million. Or he needs to score 5 points in Miami next week. So, yeah, not too bad. Michael says, Oscar has 3 wins and 0 Driver of the Days awards. So stupid. Yeah, I'm always curious, like, if he would have gotten Driver of the Day in Australia if he had finished second, if he didn't have that spin. He has tied Lando for Grand Prix wins. Oh, like career total, Michael? Yeah, I guess, yeah, that makes sense. It was better than Suzuka. I agree, Alvin. I feel if Ferrari looks like this, we may need Leclerc in Monaco, so maybe Leclerc plus Piastri plus McLaren and some B-tier constructor because of this Driver of the Day thing. Yeah, I think so. Who would I have picked for Driver of the Day? In the A tier, I would probably be close between Piastri and Leclerc. I'd probably give it to Piastri because he won, but in the B tier, I'd probably give it to Sainz. Like, great weekend for Sainz, getting back on track. I am so not salty picking Ferrari instead of Mercedes. Well, yeah, that worked out well. Oh, not picking Ferrari instead of Mercedes. Yes, that is bad. Sorry. Minion Golf, I had Piastri, Russell, Behrman, Bortoleto, Hadjar, McLaren, and Alpine. That's not bad at all. That's a pretty good weekend there, Minion Golf. What direction should I take? If you haven't played Limitless, you could probably think about playing it there in Miami because it looks like Behrman, Hadjar is still going to rise. Like, if I'm looking at my T1 squad here, it's not all that bad. I really can't believe I have to look at Jack Doohan in my squad for the next 2 weeks. That is making me a little upset. But Gasly minus the DNF, I think he was going to be a good long-term hold. So, but I can't get him anymore. I can't move him around anymore or keep him on my squad. I have to move him out, but I can't keep him on there. So Gasly to I mean, I had 0.8 million in the bank. And that would have been the perfect amount to go from Doohan to Alonso, which would have been very nice. It would have I wouldn't have cared about Gasly at all if I had done that Doohan to Alonso move. That would have been really nice. And so it's kind of like, I think the easy moves for me right off the bat are just Gasly to Ocon again, like flipping that transfer back, unfortunately, and then just doing the move that everyone else did this weekend, like doing to Bortoleto, because I can't get up to Alonso now. So that's great. Like, I guess in a world, I could maybe think about getting off Hadjar and going Alonso if like Racing Bulls don't look good. Like that could be another move I go with there, because Hadjar will be within range of getting that. Yeah, I'll probably save $1 million. Like I have 0.9. I'll need 0.3 to go from Gasly to Ocon. I'll save another $1 million, so that'll give me 0. I might just be short of going Hadjar to Alonso actually, so I'll need to look at that there. But yeah, doing to Bortoleto and Gasly back to Ocon seem like the pretty obvious moves right now. Gasly for Ocon was bad. Bortoleto for doing was good. Lost less budget, but points was bad. Yeah. Herman says, even though I'm a Max fan, I voted Oscar for driver of the day. He did a flawless race, switched doing Ocon for Alonso Gasly, so Limitless probably a no-go. Yeah, Guillermo says Gasly. Yep. Is it possible to transfer somebody and play Limitless after? No, it is not possible to do that. Do you think McLaren Ferrari or McLaren Mercedes is the better long-term pairing? With the way Leclerc is driving right now and with how Ferrari is doing their pit stop points, I think it is Ferrari. I think Ferrari is a little bit of a, I would say, maybe not the highest priority, because we probably have to get off of some sinking assets. But like, say if you like did the Doohan to Alonso transfer, like I wish I had done, you could go Alonso all the way down to Bortoleto. That'll save you 1.6 million, and that may get you in the range where you could do like a Mercedes to a Ferrari with like another switch somewhere. So that is something that we could think about in Miami. Who got driver of the day? It was Max Verstappen. Hadjar looks great today. Yeah, great job by him getting into the points. Wait, if you're going to get a 0.6 drop anyway, does it not make sense to keep Gasly and get rid of Doohan? Says Benads. I'm not going to get that, though, if I transfer out Doohan and Gasly. I think I want to transfer out Doohan for maybe Alonso. Yeah, if you can get there. I wish I had done it, because now I'd be up 0.8 in budget instead. So what I'd be at? Yeah, I'd be up at 1.7 million in budget and 8 more points. So I'd feel pretty good about that. I wouldn't be too bothered about the Gasly DNF. I think if you had met a team of McLaren, Mercedes, Piastri, Behrman, Ocon, Doohan, had you only need to change Doohan to Alonso or Lawson for... okay, hold on. Augustinus. I think if you had met a team of... You only need to change Doohan to Alonso or Lawson for Miami. No, I think that would be fine. Augustinus. So, yeah. 180 people watching. I think I'm caught up on the questions. So if anyone else has any questions... let me know. Nixie says that Leclerc was his driver of the day. But yeah, keep them coming. And yeah, like I said, if you are not subscribed to the YouTube channel, help me get to 2,800 by the Miami Grand Prix. Would greatly appreciate that. And yeah, 180 people watching, 45 likes. We gotta get those likes up. Just hit that small little thumbs up in the corner. Would greatly appreciate it. Parzival says, got Piastri, Hadjar, Behrman, Russell, Gasly, and McLaren /RB. Not sure about Limitless next week, as Gasly might cook me. Yeah. Everything else looks okay, Parzival. But yeah, Gasly is going to be... Yeah. Going to be tough. Limitless proved really great today. Are we going to see something similar to this in Imola or Monaco? I'm starting to get more and more set into Imola as the Limitless. I think there'll be some upgrades coming. Maybe this Ferrari floor is for real. Maybe Leclerc is for real. There's not going to be a lot of teams. It's going to be very similar to what happened today in Saudi Arabia, hopefully. Drop to 9th global. Holy moly, iPaul Live. That is a very high flying rank. So thank you for being in the chat. I appreciate it. Let us know your lineup and how you did and how you dropped to 9th, and where were you before this? Parzival says probably wait for F1 Fantasy Tools. Luke says Leclerc was looking good. Hamilton not so much. Yeah, Hamilton is off it. I mean, I wish I had Hamilton on the thumbnail this week. I was like, is Hamilton washed last week when he finished fifth? Should have done it this week. That would have been great. I could have felt a lot better. Is it worth to take a B tier constructor in Miami for budget, or just stick with double A constructor? It depends on what your plans are. If you're going to use Limitless, it doesn't really matter because you're stuck with the team that you just used in Saudi Arabia. But if you're thinking Imola, I don't know. I guess there is an option where like getting rid of Mercedes and like getting some like definite budget building constructor. Like I'm trying to think. I mean, Haas will probably still be pretty good because they scored 16 points today. Williams could start getting in with a shout as well. Yeah, Haas, Aston Martin, Racing Bulls. Like there are some options there that you could look at. I mean, Alpine, maybe not 17 points. I'm not entirely sure about that. But there we are. Let's see here. Tommaso says, I have McLaren, Mercedes, Piastri, Gasly, Behrman, Hadjar, Bortoleto, Limitless in Miami, or sell Gasly for Ocon. You could go Gasly to Ocon and then just play the Limitless chip in Imola. That's not bad. But yeah, I think I was talking about Imola before, just a few seconds ago. Yeah, like Red Bulls seemed like Verstappen sounded pretty upbeat in like the team radio after the race. He was like, good progress this weekend, blah, blah, blah. Leclerc looks good in Ferrari. Ferrari's pit stop looks unstoppable. McLaren, while they can't get out of their own way, they still seem pretty indestructible for getting on the podium most of the time. I mean, I think Lando didn't get on the podium today, so not bad at all. So yeah, Imola is in my eyesight right now. I think if you have Gasly, unfortunately, Limitless might be off the table for you, unless you've just got kind of like a different squad than a lot of people with several budget risers. Evan says, Piastri, Russell, Ocon, Behrman, Hadjar, McLaren, Haas. Do we recommend Limitless for Miami? Yes, I like that squad for Limitless in Miami. I like it quite a lot, actually. Looking at Ferrari for the future, doing it under 2-second pit stop is 20 points. They almost did it this weekend, so fingers crossed they keep it up. Let's see here. Yeah, no worries, Delamine Sports. Yes, thanks for tuning in. Are we considering double Ferraris a differential? Possibly. Sounds terrifying to me as a victim of the double DSQ in China. Yeah, like a Leclerc Ferrari combo. Let me see here. Live scoring. So now that Piastri is going to go up, so he'll be 23.7 million. Where's Leclerc going to be at? 24.6. So yeah, we're within $1 million of Leclerc. Hamilton's going to go, Hamilton's at 23.3. But yeah, Piastri, Leclerc, within $1 million of each other, that could be a differential. Mateus said, should I Limitless in Miami? I have McLaren, Mercedes, Piastri, Hadjar, Behrman, Bortoleto, and Gasly. Only problem is Gasly, so maybe still good for Limitless. Maybe, yeah. I mean, it's not ideal. You are guaranteeing a 0.6 price decrease there, but it's probably not the end of the world. Like if you have one falling asset, I think I have two now with Doohan and Gasly, so that's probably off the table for me. But yeah, it looks like you only have one falling asset there, so I don't mind that at all. Ravenko says, exactly what I predicted. Limitless this week was a great play since it's not as easy as people think to predict price rises, and Meta team had good expected rise compared to other teams that prepared for Limitless. Yeah, maybe it would have been the play. I mean, it was a great result. Like, yeah, I guess I didn't see, I missed that. So I'll have to improve upon that in the future. Let's see here. Eyeball Paul, McLaren, Mercedes, Piastri, Bortoleto, Alonso, Ocon, Hadjar. Nice. Best start I've had. I know I won't stay top 1,000 for long, but enjoying while it lasts. Great attitude, Eyeball Paul. But yeah, I mean, you still got time. There's plenty of time. Mark says, Piastri times 2, Behrman, Hadjar, Doohan, Alonso, McLaren, Mercedes, 192 points. That's on the official F1 game, right? Because, yeah, you're going to have more points than that, Mark, for sure. Thank you, Captain. Appreciate that. I have McLaren, Haas, Piastri, Russell, Behrman, Hadjar, Doohan. What do you think? Limitless in Miami or Imola? I think you're set up quite well. Maybe it'd be nicer to get rid of the Limitless earlier than that. Hello, who got to drive the day? It was Verstappen. like the sooner you get Limitless out of the way, like the less you have to think about it, which is always nice. Suchit says, how'd your team do? Where are you in the global ranking and total points now with the provisional points? Do they update that right away? I'm not entirely sure. Let me see. 190 people watching. Really appreciate it. That's fantastic. So thank you for tuning in at whatever time it is in the world for you. It was kind of cool watching a night race. I guess Bahrain was it was more like early evening last week, but oh well. Weemugo says, I've got McLaren, Mercedes, Piastri, Ocon, Behrman, Hadjar, Alonso. Should I go Limitless for Miami? Oh yes, Weemugo. That is a great Limitless squad. Yeah, as long as we get like a pretty set and forget data set, sprint qualifying looks okay, that is a perfectly good squad to go Limitless with in Miami. Let me see here. I'm not entirely sure if the leagues actually update that quickly or not. Let's see here. Public league. So right now, provisionally, I'm at 163K. The T2 squad has jumped up into the top 70K. And the T3 squad was about 60K. So that's taken a hit because the T3 squad had a little bit of a rough weekend bringing in Alpine and Gasly. That did not go well, but it still gained more budget than my T1 squad. So that's where we're at there. What else? What else can we go over here? Let's see. Okay, so, I mean, you guys can see this stuff scrolling on the side of the screen, but Behrman, Hadjar were the only ones that went up 0.6 in price. So if you had those in your squad, you're good to go. Piastri as well. So Behrman, Hadjar, and Piastri were the only drivers that hit the max price increase. We had a lot of price fallers, which is very unfortunate. And yeah, that's about it. And then the constructor side, same thing. Only Kick Sauber went down. Alpine went up 0.2. Everyone else got a max price rise. So the constructors are really starting to show us that they are where you want to be. Ferrari is now at 27.3 million. Mercedes is at 23.9. So that is a 3.4 million difference that we need to make up. More questions. Great. Parsville says, I think I'll swap Gasly out. Oh, goodness. What have I done here? Oh, there we go. I think I'll swap Gasly out for Miami and Limitless in Imola. Yep, don't mind that at all. How about McLaren, Mercedes, Piastri, Behrman, Hadjar, Alonso, Gasly for Miami, or wait for Imola? It's right on the fence there. You've got one falling asset, but the other 6 are likely to rise the key. So I don't mind it if you are okay with it. Gasly could have a banging weekend in Miami, and like, it's just having Gasly means you might have to take him out in Imola anyway. So I don't know if you want to take him out now and then play Limitless in Imola. Just kind of depends how you're thinking. I got a lot of budget in my T1, though everyone rose apart from a 0.6 drop to Gasly. Nice. That is great. Yes, I'm quite jealous. So I guess I had max rise, max rise, max rise, max rise, max rise, max fall, max fall. Ouch. Oh well. What's my suggested Limitless team for Miami? I mean, Captain, if I did know this, I probably wouldn't be doing this, and I would be making a killing in Vegas. But it's a pretty good overtaking track. Verstappen does well here. It is a street circuit. I'm not entirely sure if they've like done any resurfacing or anything like that. But, I mean, long straights will be good for Ferrari and McLaren. So yeah, it might be Ferrari, McLaren. It might be the same Limitless squad that everyone played in Saudi Arabia today as well. So I don't hate that at all. Let's see here. After this perfect Limitless with provisional points, I'm 1,700th in the world for Fantasy Rookie. I think that's pretty good. I think that's pretty great for anyone, Augustina. So great job by you. I am now top 150K with T1, 4,200 with T2, and 9,000 with T3 with the provisional points. Had Ferrari with T1 when they DSQ'd. Oh my goodness. That is awesome, Luke. Great job by you. Limitless used on all teams this week. Nice. Doing singular overtake saved Alpine from a 0.2 price drop. Yeah, I have no idea, but I'm think I'm selling my stock on Jack Doohan. I'm sorry to all the Australians out there. I'm sorry to Fantasy Formula Hub if they are watching this on replay. It's just, he's not the worst driver on the grid, but he's not cutting it. He's not cutting it. So he's on borrowed time at this point, I think. However, as long as he can make it to Miami, one of my bold predictions will come in. I said he'd get more than 5 races this season. So if he gets a 6th race, bold prediction checked off for the season with Alpine. The one time I put Gasly, he's have DNS for like 30 races. Yeah, he was having a rough time of it at some point over the last couple of seasons as well. But yeah, it was not great. I literally just yelled, "Oh no," at the TV, and my wife came running out of the kitchen and was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yes, I'm just overreacting to my F1 fantasy team." Avin Christ says, even if we call Limitless in Miami, do you think we should do later in Imola or Monaco? If Jurassic Park taught me anything, it's like, even if you can, doesn't mean you should. First of all, great thread. That was a difficult landing that you had there, Avin Cry, and you nailed it. There was thunderstorms here, there was lightning over here, and all that stuff, and you landed that very well. I don't think I can get to Limitless in Miami without. I mean, I don't want to take another 1.2 million fall with Doohan and Gasly, so that's off the table for me. But if you only have one of those in your squad, I don't mind it. Postman Pat Pete says 223 global after Limitless this week. Only Limitless used to absolutely stoked. Postman Pete, you are crushing it. I hope you are subscribed to the YouTube channel. Hopefully I've given you one modicum of okay advice throughout the season and helped you get into the top 250 in the world. So yeah, I'd greatly appreciate that. Let's see here. Marion says Piastri, Hadjar, Behrman, Ocon, Bortoletto, and McLaren and Mercedes. That went well. Oh, should I Limitless? Is the next question. Yeah, that's fine. Is Miami front or rear limited? What about Imola and Monaco? Minion Golf, I will admittedly say that I have not done my research into that yet. There are some great podcasts that you should listen to. I mean, Coffee Corner Motorsport, who does his Espresso News, his Full Beans Coffee podcast or whatever. I'm not entirely sure what it is actually titled, but if you want more tech talk in the F1 fantasy world, yeah, Terry, who is at Widsy3 on X, is like my go-to tech wizard of the F1 fantasy world. So I would definitely go plug into there. Do we know what the minimum budget will be for McLaren, Mercedes, and 2 premium drivers? Currently at 109, predicted to go up 1.5. Are you counting Antonelli as a premium driver? Because so McLaren, they'll go up to 31.5. Mercedes will go up to 24.2. Piastri is at 23.4. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know. Let's see. Can I recreate my reaction from lap 1? I probably shouldn't shout that loud because I think my wife is starting to wind down to go to sleep right now. So I can't yell that loudly in the apartment. But yeah, it was not good. It was anger, accept. What are the 7 stages of grief? I went through them all in about 7 seconds. It was not great. Marion says, fantasy rookie 3rd in the world. Now, what are you doing watching this show? This is for the people that like to muck around in the top 10K, Marion, but I appreciate you joining the show, chiming in. Hopefully subscribe to the channel. Hopefully you've liked the video already. Hopefully all of you have liked the video already. I see there's about 190 of us watching this right now, so hopefully everyone has liked the video already. But Marion, wow, 3rd in the world. That is crushing it. That is insane. Do you think we have been lucky with price rises at the start and now this new price system is making things a bit harder to navigate? Yeah, I think it's honestly like playing DNF roulette. You wait for a driver to DNF, you wait a couple of races for that to about to fall off, and then you hop on them. That's kind of what it is. So when you come into a week like this, when it was harder to gain budget anyway, and then you get hit with a DNF, it makes it a little bit harder. But let's see, Mr. Iceman, who are the B tier drivers that are guaranteed lock for max price rise? So this is just like the Michael had it earlier, the hashtag loosey goosey math that is a trademark of F1 Fantasy Pole Position at this point. This is what we're looking at. So let me get your thing off the screen. So Ocon looks good for a rise. Albon's starting to look good for a rise as well, but Ocon as well, Behrman as well. Lawson could be in for a max price rise. Alonso, Hadjar, and even Bortoleto is kind of in with a shout as well. 2.4 million bonus, 344 points. Good limit. That is an incredible weekend. So great job by you. Pewin says, what is the usual points delta between a sprint weekend versus normal? Can Limitless in Miami offset Gasly, or is it too much? It's likely that when you use Limitless in a sprint weekend, you'll score more points, but it is more about the delta over the rest of the field that you're gaining there. So like all these people that scored 344 points, like they have 130 points on me on my T1 squad this week, which is incredible. So great job by them. So that's kind of where it all comes down to. Etu says, does your wife also give you a daily limit on how much you are allowed to talk fantasy with her? I had my privilege cut down to 15 minutes a week. LOL. I actually don't talk fantasy with my wife that much. I have you guys for that. And she is very grateful to that you guys will be hanging out here with me on a Sunday night talking F1 fantasy. Because, she is a great sport about all the sports that I watch. But yeah, going into the fantasy realm might be a little bit too much, but I appreciate her nonetheless. But yeah, 15 minutes, that's a little tight there. Gasly had a DNF in Vegas last year. It was only like 10 races before. 2 are free transfers I have to play after Limitless. You only have 2, no matter what. Don't worry about that. SRR, McLaren, Mercedes, Piastri, Behrman, Bortoleto, Alonso, Hadjar, worth going Limitless in Miami. That's a perfectly okay squad to do the transfers in Miami. If I have 3 transfers to go Limitless, how many transfers will I have after? You will have 2 transfers after you play Limitless in Miami, Guillermo. PFU $$ says, thanks for the content. Appreciate it. Best regards from Vienna. Thank you. I went to Vienna 3-ish years ago, and it was a great, great city. So I hope you're having a great time there. Do I LL in Miami with McLaren, Ferrari, Piastri, Ocon, Behrman, Hadjar, Bortoleto? Yes, you probably do. Last moment Gasly swap for Ocon. Sad. I transferred in Gasly 3 minutes before qualifying. Yeah, pain. How did Limitless do against normal teams? Limitless teams crushed it because most of the top 5 did very well. As we can see here, when we go to the points, Piastri, Verstappen, Norris, Leclerc. Piastri, Verstappen, Norris were probably in every single Limitless team. Leclerc probably as well. Like, I feel like these 5 drivers, once everything kind of shook out when the data, that's where people ended up with their drivers. The reason I wasn't too keen on Limitless was I couldn't tell what constructor was the best to play. And I was like, well, I already have McLaren, who's the best constructor, and I didn't know what was kind of shaking out between Mercedes, Red Bull, and Ferrari. So I didn't feel too confident in that, but it worked out for those that went with Ferrari. So great job by them. Lucas says, hey, so I have Piastri, Russell, Hadjar, Behrman, Bortoleto, McLaren, Racing Bulls, and I got a good budget increase. I'll probably do Limitless in Miami. Yeah, I like that a lot. Was using Limitless good enough at the end for points differential? Yeah, I think they gained about 140 points on me, so it's probably like 120 on most of the rest of the field. Let me see. Like if this T2 squad, that's pretty much as template is. So yeah, the Limitless managers gained probably like 100 points on a lot of people. Yeah, so not bad at all by them. Let's see here. Team 2 is now in the top 300 after Limitless. T1 is at 70K. That is awesome. Casper says, love the stream. See you on the next one. Yes. Mr. Iceman says, reuse the graph. Thanks. Did you make one for the constructors as well? I have not made one yet, but I will make sure to make one for the next cool down room episode for sure. Because, yeah, it is just kind of nice to see what's what pretty quickly after the race. Like F1 Fantasy Tools do a fantastic job, and they will get this up as soon as the game finalizes what happened in Jeddah, which I will check right now. Has not happened yet. F1 Fantasy Tools will update, and then this hashtag loosey-goosey math spreadsheet that I have will become obsolete for another 2 weeks. So great job by them as always. Bernard says, I wanted to apologize. I said at the end of the deadline stream, I hope Doohan has a good race. I should have extended my wishes for Gasly too. Oh my goodness. I know. Yuki, what did you do to my boy? Why? I'm not actually sure whose fault that was. Maybe it wasn't anyone's fault. It seemed like Yuki could have done a little bit more to avoid it. But yeah, Gasly's car definitely looked bad. So I have the same team as you. If I go Limitless and Imola, which transfers will go? I think I'll get Doohan out for Bortoleto and Gasly back up to Ocon, which is pretty much reversing the transfers I made this week, which is not great. So yeah, I don't know. Macatek says, I have 3 transfers going to Miami, so should I fix up my team and go Limitless and Imola? If your team looks as bad as my team will in Miami, then yes, Macatek. But if you maybe only have one of the problems between Doohan and Gasly, I could still see the merit in going Limitless in Miami. Let's see here. Etu says, I do remember you saying I'd recommend McLaren and probably Ferrari folks with Limitless questions this weekend, so props for that one. Okay, I'll take your word for it, Etu. I said a lot of stuff yesterday, so hopefully I gave out some of that. What was the 340-point Limitless team? That shows 284 for me with Piastri, Norris. It could be that if you're looking on the F1 fantasy game, it'll say like provisional points right now. But, I mean, I could just make a manual say, why have I not done that yet? Piastri, Leclerc, Norris, Russell, Verstappen, and the 2X driver on there. Select a chip. Okay. Let's see here. Piastri, Ocon, Behrman, Hadjar, and then we probably all had Doohan, right? So let's see here. So yeah, 347 points is the projected total for this Limitless squad right here. So, and a 1.3 million budget increase. So great job by them. Not bad at all. Love that quite a lot. Racing Incident, it's 347 live score on fan. Yeah, thank you, Postman Pete. Yeah, sorry, I should have had that up this entire stream, so I apologize for that. It wasn't really Yuki's fault, in my opinion. Gasly did not leave a lot of space for Yuki. Yuki is just an incident. Okay, fair enough. I have exactly your T2. Which changes are you thinking about? Hi from Spain. Keep up with the amazing job. Thank you, Jaime. For this T2 squad, I probably will not make any changes because I think it's in a really good spot to use the Limitless chip in Miami. So I'll probably do that. I'm feeling this T2 squad is Limitless worthy for sure. Yes, you did recommend Ferrari over Mercedes. Okay, cool. Thank you, Daniel. The only mistake was 2X Norris versus Piastri, but that was unfortunate. Yeah. I mean, it got bailed out because, Lando ended up coming through the field, and he only ended up 3 points less than Oscar, so not bad at all. James May says, I have Piastri, Ocon, Behrman, Bortoleto, Hadjar, McLaren, Ferrari, and Limitless for me. I'm feasting, I guess. Oh my goodness, James, you're in a fantastic spot. Great job by you. I know we're winding down with like 10 minutes to go, and or like 7 minutes to go in the stream. But yeah, there's like 170 people watching and 67 likes. We just need like 20 more likes, and then we're over the 50% mark, guys. So you're helping me out because that way people can watch this on replay. They'll be able to find it over the next 2 weeks because we do have a break. We don't have a race next week. Sad times. This time next week, I will not be streaming and talking to y'all about how epic of a comeback my team in Miami hopefully did. We're going to have to wait 2 weeks for that, which is sad. So if you're going to miss me over the next 2 weeks, hit that like. That would be greatly appreciated. Would really appreciate it. Thanks. Did not know you get more exact score there already, just like live FPL and Premier League Fantasy first year. Yes, live FPL is fantastic. I wish my FPL team was doing as well as that, but yeah, it is what it is. Switch Ocon to Gasly, epic move. Yes, it sure was. 112.2 million, 1,115 points party. Oh my goodness, Frazier, you are cooking. I love it. Perfect week for me. Piastri, Behrman, Bortoleto, Hadjar, Alonso, McLaren, and Mercedes. That is awesome. El Pepe says, Doohan losing 0.6 is so sad. Yes, he's lost 0.8 million now. over the last 2 weeks. So that's great. Mr. Iceman says there's another triple header after Miami. Oh my, is there? Oh my goodness. Let me see. Yeah, so we have a 2 week break, and then we go Miami, and then yes, right back into another triple header. Oh my goodness. Yes. Okay, that'll be fun. Yeah, this has been, I love F1 Fantasy. I love making the content, but I was also just kind of like, oh my goodness, like, this has been nonstop for 3 weeks. It's been very fun. It's been great engaging with everyone. I hope the 2 week break, everyone take a break. There will be some content coming out the channel. I'm kind of just still organizing that a little bit. But yeah, that's kind of what I'll be doing. Like, once we get into next week, it'll just be like the regular race content. It'll be team selection and the Q&A live stream on Wednesday and all that fun stuff as well. So that'll be fine. But yeah, this week, if anyone's got an idea that they'd like me to talk about in F1 Fantasy, drop a comment in the last 5 minutes, drop it in or drop a comment if you're watching this on replay. Let me know if there's anything you want me to cover during this kind of down week in F1 Fantasy. Etu says, yeah, that sucks. When you had a week of content, you want to get back on the horse immediately and not wait 2 weeks. Yes. Should I stick with Alonso in Miami? You definitely should, Kip2. Probably going to Limitless in Imola or Monaco, Hussein. Yeah, I'm thinking Imola myself. Yep, Italy, Monaco, Spain triple header. Wow, that'll be pretty fun. Looking forward to that. And I haven't touted it yet, but if you guys, on May 1st, you're doing like Marion, you're third in the world, and all of you guys are top 500 of the world, and you're talking to me, which I greatly appreciate. If you use promo code UN50, you get 50% off your first month at F1 Fantasy Tools for their premium product. And if you activate it on May 1st, you'll get the next 4 races in the F1 calendar in that 1 month. So not bad. Video about F1 Fantasy mentality and how not to lose hope after screwing yourself over. Yes, I mean, I could use one of those right now, actually. So, yeah, that's not bad. Just like keeping a level head. It's a long season. We are 1/5 of the way through the season. Is that right? 24 races, 5 races down. Yeah. I'm hoping Austria is a banger because I'm going to visit it this year at Nazar. Oh, nice. Yes. I'm kind of hoping I can get there this year because I'd love to go to the Red Bull Ring. So, but I've also heard it's one of the more expensive races. So I don't know if anyone's ever gone before. So let me know in the comments or hit me up on X and TikTok and Blue Sky at F1 Fantasy UN. Sainz had a great comeback, so he is must get. Not yet, Hussein, because he is still set to probably fall in Miami. But after that, once we get this -9 off here, if he scores about 16, 17, 18 points, Sainz is going to be a great buy in Imola. Yeah, he'll be fantastic. So that's great. Macatech says, me too, man. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, Luke says Sainz will be a great pick in 2 races. Yes, I 100% agree. Do a track review for the remaining tracks, classifying track types by types of corners, the cars they fit, etc., such high speed, low speed, downforce, etc. I don't mind that at all, Captain. That's going to take a little bit of research, but I can definitely kind of get into a little bit of that. Maybe that's a good like forecasting what's coming up, that sort of thing as well. But yeah, like I said, it has been almost an hour here. And it has been a great time. I wish my F1 Fantasy team had done a little bit better than it did in Saudi Arabia. But like absolute huge props, round of applause to all the Limitless managers. And like I said, if you're watching this on delay or if you're watching this right now and you're not subscribed to the channel, we are the countdown to 2,800 is well and truly on. We are 21 subscribers away from that kind of milestone there. So hopefully try and get there before the Miami Grand Prix. Bernard says no further action regarding Yuki Panir. From what I analyze, it's one of the more affordable races. Okay, that's good to know. I'll have to think about that. Nazar, thank you for giving me that feedback. But yeah, I think we're at an hour. We've got the likes. We're over 50. We're right at the 50% mark. So you guys have done a great job. I really appreciate anyone that has liked the stream, viewed the stream. And like I said, like the video, subscribe, whatever you're doing. on that side. But yeah, I will be back in the middle of the week, maybe Tuesday and Thursday or when I'll do videos. And then, yeah, we'll be right back into it next Monday with team selection and all that fun stuff. But yeah, make sure to follow me on X at F1 Fantasy U, and that's where I'll put out all my like very early team selection thoughts, some like track stats, all that fun stuff. But hopefully you guys had a great weekend. Hopefully Saudi Arabia went very, very well for you. Pierre Gasly, Yuki Tsunoda, I'm gonna have words for you, but that's okay. And then yeah, Jack Doohan. Oh my goodness, that was a rough watch if you are a Jack Doohan fan. But hopefully everyone has a good off week. I will be back this week with some content, and then it'll be another race week. And yeah, that'll do it. So have a great week, everyone, and thanks again for watching and listening, and I will talk to you next time.